Okay, good morning, class. Requesting everyone to switch on their camera for our class attendance. And then we'll take another photo towards the end, okay? Sige, please switch on your cameras for the attendance today so that we can give a copy to the Vice Principal's office. Okay, sige. Yung iba, please switch on your cameras. Okay, sige, thank you. Let me just share my screen to everyone. So for our discussion for today, we'll continue my discussion on the review of related literature. I think I gave a prior video that was posted in YouTube also in the class, but apparently only a few from the class did watch the actual video. Paki-view na lang yon so as you'll be able to understand on how to write the literature. It's very important, lalo na um, you are to finish your review of related literature. I think the deadline would be on Friday already, so it's a must that you be able to listen carefully on what you need to do in terms of writing your RRL. Now, the task that was given to you was that you have to be able to uh, submit your RRL answer read. So I gave you the format already. So you need to be able to give the entire 20 journal articles in RRL format, in the answer read format by Friday. Okay, because by next week, um, I will already be giving you the go signal to translate it into the paragraph form. And then you have to create your synthesis, theoretical, conceptual framework. So by uh, September 27, that's a Friday of next week, I will be able to see already your completed chapter 2. And the week after, we will begin already the chapter 3. So medyo mabilis tayo ngayon. So that by hopefully the first week or most likely the second week of October, you will be doing already your proposal defense. So, and especially those who doesn't have yet an approved uh, working topic or working title, please, no, take it seriously. Kasi nahuhuli na. Pag wala ka pang approved working title, okay, that means that you are already left behind. Sobrang layo na yung ginagawa ng mga classmates mo. By the time that you wake up, um, sobrang dami na ang gagawin mo. So please, be able to check. At saka pala yung students who would change their titles and topics, please decide immediately. Hindi mo pwede yung pabago-bago, no? You should be able to decide quickly on matters about your research. Kasi mahuhuli. I will have to be able to check again the topics, no? Doon sa proposed ninyo and see if it's researchable, it's interesting, and that you can actually do the research. Hindi po pwede yun that you decide na you'll be able to change it. But of course, there are reasons naman why you need to be able to change it. Number one, because the references, okay? You might have been able to have found out that you have less references that will make your research difficult. Number two, yung participants, no? Yung iba sa inyo, inisip ka agad yung participants, wala pa tayo sa chapter 3. The participants later on will come in chapter 3. So some would actually change their title because of the participants. Wala pa nga tayo sa chapter 3, iniisip na nga yun. So again, it will boil down again to going back to the process of the topics, the 10.3.1 activity, the working title, the description. I'll have to be able to approve that. So humahaba yung process. And also, some of you, when you give titles, okay, please naman, some are very obvious, you just cut and paste it. You cut and paste it and you get it into the AI application and put it. Alam ko yun. So please, okay lang naman that you give titles and be able to give descriptions. Okay? Wag na kayong magbigay ng working title kasi alam ko that some of you just cut and paste and got it from an AI application. okay lang yun na statements in the working title because I'll be able to suggest possible working titles for you. And please, when you are giving a working title, you have to start immediately because I have already um, uh, did my analysis and even doing some basic research on your working title. So hindi basta-basta yung ganun. There are some students in the actual world, it would take them months for them to be able to create a working title. But the rest of you, you are very lucky because you are being given titles already, no? Kaya nga the topics are very important kasi if your topic is not interesting, it's common, paulit-ulit yung research na yon, then I will not be able to approve it. And I'll ask you again to be able to submit the next 5 or 10 topics. Let's move immediately with the topic for today. So this is actually parang the third part already of the review of related literature. Again, I would encourage, especially you, the ABM, that most of the time we have our online classes. Paki-view yung mga lectures kasi I'm seeing it. I think only very few of you was able to view it. So going back to the description of this topic, now when we write the review of related literature, this is a very important step in any research project, quantitative man yan or qualitative, okay? But of course, our focus would be qualitative study. Now, it says here that a well-crafted review, okay, yung maayos na organized talaga, pinag-isipan, not only summarizes existing knowledge, but also highlights gaps. Ibig sabihin, pinapakita mo dun sa research mo na meron talagang kakulangan in terms of literature, in terms of information about your study. Now, this would be able to connect the work to broader discussions. Ibig sabihin, this will leave an opportunity for you to be able to discuss this in your paper and situate your research within the academic conversation. That's why we need the literature to be able to, again, substantiate or to prove your point that the information or the study that you're looking for can be based on literature, or literature may be able to explain it. So in this part, I'll try to focus on just 10 basic steps for writing your RRL in a thematic way. Palagi kong inuulit to, thematic way, it must be in themes. Hindi po pwede yung cut and paste lang and put it all together. That's not how to do your chapter 2 or your review of related literature. Because mahuhulit, kitang-kita yon when I get to read your RRL or the panelists or anyone who would be able to read your paper. And so, hopefully, the 10 basic steps for writing the RL in a thematic way and the 5 actual research, qualitative research examples I'm going to give you later on, and the 5 steps in writing your synthesis, and 5 examples, detailed examples of the synthesis. So the first one is that you have to identify the key themes or concepts. But of course, you have to read. You have to read the journal articles, okay, and later on be able to figure out and see, si journal 1, 2, 3, at saka thesis 2, 4, parang pare-parehas yung sinasabi. So, put them all together, paraphrase them, put them in paragraphs, probably 2, 3, or 4 paragraphs with the theme or like a title. So, identify the themes or the concepts. Begin by reviewing a large body of literature to identify key recurring themes or concepts relevant to your research. Now, these themes could include the theoretical frameworks, methodologies, or findings that are repeatedly emphasized. So a very good example of this is that a qualitative study on student engagement in online learning could identify themes such as the learner autonomy, yung pagiging independent and learner, technological barriers for students to be engaged in online learning, and the social interaction among the students. So identify the key themes or concepts. The second is that you have to organize your literature by themes. So instead of summarizing each article individually, you have to organize your literature review around these key themes. Now, this method creates a narrative that connects different studies based on their focus rather than chronologically. Example, In research on teacher burnout, the RRL might be divided into sections, focusing on emotional exhaustion, work-life balance, and coping stress. So pag binasa yung RRL about teacher burnout, it's organized into concepts and themes: emotional exhaustion, work-life balance, and coping strategies. And underneath each theme, of course, would be your actual explanation of it. Of course, in APA style or in the in-text citation. The third one is you have to establish the relevance of the themes. So for each of the theme, you have to explain why it is relevant to your study, but importante yung sa study mo, and how it aligns with your research questions. Again, from your title to your aim to your purpose, okay, and to your research questions, all are interconnected. A study on community-based healthcare might discuss the theme of, example, the patient-centered care, and explains its relevance to improving such delivery. The fourth one is evaluate the credibility of your sources. Kaya nga, I would always tell you to look for the primary sources, not just vlogs. Kasi konti lang makukuha nyo doon or konti lang yung mai-extract nyo. Just merely a basic knowledge or information or just like a definition of uh, an information for your study. So evaluate the credibility of the source. It should not be Wikipedia. It should not be based on news articles, but it should be based on journal articles, thesis, dissertations. You have to assess the reliability and the relevance of the studies you include. And you have to consider factors such as the methodology, the sample size, and the recency of the literature. Mamaya, yung nakuha mong literature, 20 years ago, it might not be relevant today. So the basic rule or the rule of thumb in research is that it should be 5 years. Within the 5 years, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, or 2019. But then again, may mga exemptions naman that there would be a few literature na mas late. Aalaw naman yun, but not majority of your literature. Now, the fifth one is you have to synthesize rather than summarize. So instead of simply summarizing what each study says, compare and contrast findings from different studies under each theme. Highlight patterns, differences, and gaps in the literature. Example, if multiple studies show differing outcomes for virtual work teamwork effectiveness, synthesize by discussing potential reasons for these differences, such as sample of the diversity or the cultural context. So again, hindi lang basta siya isa-summarize, but you need to compare and do contrast of findings from the different studies under the theme. The sixth would be addressing the gaps in the literature. So you have to identify any gaps or areas where more research is needed within each theme. Highlight how your research aims to address these gaps. For example, a study of climate change adoption may find that most literature focuses on urban areas, leaving a gap in knowledge about rural adaptation strategies. So you have to articulate. Okay, kunyari, most of the literature are just talking about ganito. You have to be able to say that in paragraph 4. Then the seventh, discuss methodological approaches. Review the methods used in the previous studies and discuss their strengths and limitations. Highlight how your study's methodology will differ or build upon existing approaches. For a study on participatory decision-making in schools, you might contrast qualitative case studies within quantitative surveys and explain why you choose interviews as your methods. Number 8 is critically analyze the findings. Rather than merely reporting findings, critically analyze their implication or ano yung connection ninyo sa study mo. And this whether findings are widely supported or debated and what that means for your research. Example, in a review of mental health interventions, you might point out conflicting views of the long-term effectiveness of cognitive behavior therapy, discussing its relevance to your study. Number 9, you have to create a logical flow. Now, ensure that your literature review flows logically from one theme to the next and use transitions between themes to demonstrate how they are interconnected. Example, when transitioning from a theme on teacher collaboration to student outcomes in educational research, you might discuss how improved teacher collaboration directly impacts the student performance. Ano ibig sabihin niya? That when you shift to one, kunyari, a theme to another, you have to make sure na it's coherent or yung theme synergizes with the second one. Number 10, conclude by summarizing your key insights. So summarize the major themes and findings in the literature, emphasize how they inform your research problem. This set up a smooth transition in your methodology section. For example, for a study on leadership in nonprofit organization, your conclusion might summarize the key leadership models, discuss and explain how your research will investigate their applicability in smaller nonprofits. So here, you will take informations from the actual literature and may be able to integrate your thoughts on specific, let's say, key points that you have found in your actual literature towards your synthesis. Now, these are the 5 examples in the qualitative research. So, student engagement in online learning. So, the themes here is learner autonomy, peer interaction, and technological barriers. So, 1, 2, tatlo yung theme niya. For student burnout and emotional resilience, yung theme niya is 1, 2, 3, emotional exhaustion, personal coping mechanism, and institutional support. And then the third is the community-based healthcare delivery. So ang themes niya tatlo rin, and the rest of the examples. Okay, now this time, these are the 7 basic steps in writing your synthesis. Ito yung 1 or 2 pages lang. So understand the purpose of the synthesis. A synthesis is not just a summary, but it's a combination of multiple sources showing how they relate to each other and contribute to your understanding of the topic. So it connects the themes and the findings from different studies. You have to identify the key points from the literature. So review the key points from your thematic literature review. Group related studies and findings together. Look for agreements, contradictions, and gaps in the literature. The third is organize the points into themes. So structure the synthesis around key themes rin, parang doon sa gagawin nyo later in RL, a paragraph form. Present the literature in a cohesive way that draws connections between the studies with the same theme. Compare and contrast the studies. Discuss how different authors approach the same topic and highlight where they agree, disagree, or present conflicting evidence. The fifth one is you have to highlight the gaps in the literature. Identify where there is insufficient research or where findings conflict. This should lead naturally into explaining how your research will address these research gaps or build on the previous work. 7, explain the relevance to your research. Clearly show how the themes and gaps in literature related to your study's aims and objectives. This reinforces the importance of your research and its potential contribution. So when you write them, it must be in the third person. Okay? The researcher, ganyan, hindi pwedeng, hindi pwede yung, it should always be in the third person. So the researchers identify, blah, blah, blah. And the last is conclude the synthesis. Summarize the key insights from your synthesis, providing a cohesive picture of the current state of your research, and end by linking the synthesis to the research questions and methodology sections. So these are 5 detailed examples of synthesis. For example, the online learning and student engagement. After synthesizing studies, a pattern of emerges showing that while learner autonomy improves engagement, a lack of social interaction can decrease motivation. And the research, my research, will explore blended learning as a solution to this contradiction. Or you could state it as the research will explore, or this study will explore the blended learning as a solution to this contradiction. There are other examples. We go to example on the climate change and adoption. So while adoption strategies are well documented in urban areas, rural adoption remains under study. So the study will investigate community-driven adoption strategies in rural areas, addressing the gap. So the study or the research, I think those are better terms to include uh, doon sa synthesis in the third person. So to conclude, writing an effective review of related literature requires, again, a thematic approach that synthesizes current research while identifying the gaps and opportunities for further study. So by organizing your literature review around themes, comparing and contrasting studies, and synthesizing the key points, you create a clear narrative that supports your research aims. So using the provided steps and the examples as guide for crafting a compelling review of related literature and excuse me, and your synthesis. Okay, so those are additional inputs on how to create your review of related literature. So hopefully by this time, you are actually doing your filling out the RL answer green. So you work on that. So journals 1 until journals 20. Okay, so I'll be needing 20 journal articles, thesis, or dissertations. So pag natapos na yan, again, you will have to do translating it into the actual paragraph form. Pagkatapos ng paragraph form, you will have to do now your synthesis. From the synthesis, you will later on do your theoretical and the conceptual framework. Okay, so I think that's it for the lecture. Okay, I will just end the recording. Okay.